So doctor finally gave me the cream for the rash. I put it on, gone. Straight away, gone. Wow. So much better.
You have it here?
Yeah.
Might have to borrow it from you. I've got a little something brewing.
Easy.
Yeah, okay, awesome. Albeit a good story, I think I've got one a little spookier. Give it here.
Right on.
Now this story goes a little something like this. Rumour has it that this monster has laid dormant on this island for quite some time. It had more power than 1,000 horses, or that can be heard for hundreds of kilometres. Beady red eyes, and it has the locals absolutely terrified. It guzzles ethanol like no tomorrow. The authorities have been tracking it for years, unsuccessfully. But this trip, it's rumoured to be awakening, hungry for its next victim. We haven't even been on Moreton Island for half a day and it has all gone pear-shaped, but that's what we love about four-wheel driving. After 12 months in the build, the 80 series is finally dirty, it's finally four-wheel drive, and we're finally testing it out. This is Moreton Island with my friends Jackson and Geordie and the 1,000 horsepower 80 series. Let's get into it. We have selected Benua Campground here on Moreton for a couple of reasons. Super central, close to the wrecks, but I think it's a really good base to be able to go to the north and the south end of the island. Plus, it has amenities for the ladies. Now, I don't know if you're familiar with the touring setup of this car, but there's a couple of essentials in here. One of them is an esky full of piss, and the other is 100 litres of ethanol in jerry cans. So, before we go exploring the island, I'm going to pull all these jerry cans out. We're going to set up camp. We're going to mark our territory. Then we can go explore with a car that's a whole lot less volatile and likely.
I didn't realise it was on.
It's on.
On my site.
We've been coming here a fair bit lately, but the difference of this trip is that my own car's here for the first time in a long time. I've been pretty sick of going passenger in other people's cars or taking the 79, so it's been nice to actually have the 80 series over on the island. And Moreton's a cool spot for a couple of reasons. I think it's pretty lucky that it's so close to Brizzy and it's the third largest sand island in the world. It's really cool. It's also the home of one of the highest coastal sand dunes anywhere in the world. But what I like about it over Fraser is it's so much more small. So you can actually do the entire island really quite quickly as opposed to Fraser, which is a big ass island. We are stranded, showstopper, it's all bad. Survival mode has activated. We're not getting out of here alive, is what we say. what I'm going to say is that the tide is unfortunately almost at a high, which has led to me standing in the most disgusting puddle I've ever been in, with a layer of oil on top of it, so a Nissan has recently been through here. But the reason this is bad is because I know I have said my 80 series was trip ready, but what I meant to say was it's still a few bickies short of a picnic with no airbox and no diff breather and no snorkel. So this quantity of filthy water entering my engine and diffs is going to be really bad. So I think it's a turnaround situation and we try again on the beach side when the tide's coming down. Thankfully we're here for a couple of days, so it really isn't that much of a drama, but it's not worth riding off my car, so that away. Seems to be a recurring problem when I give it a boot full or anti-lag, is that the belts delete themselves. And that's exactly what's happened here. We're not running an AC belt at the current time, and 80s diesel and petrol run twin alternator belts, which is helpful. Well, the other issue here is that it's not just alternator, it is water pump too. So having one lonely little belt in there doing a whole lot of work is probably a recipe for disaster pretty quickly, but may also not be.
Not sure.
Yeah, so I think we just have to fuck around and find out. Thankfully, the deleted belt hasn't taken out anything else. It could have been way worse. The fan's still intact, the other belt is fine, and the shrapnel wasn't horrifically wrapped around the balancer or anything, so just shut her up and keep on trucking. I mean, it's been like this for a hot minute since we've been coming down the beach, and it's been fine. So, yeah. Onwards and upwards.
Early the next morning.
Well, last night the heavens opened. Thankfully, this awning literally saved Jackson and I's life. We dragged the swags under it and it kept us nice and dry. Today, well, the plan is simple. We're going to refill this thing with ethanol from the jerry cans I lugged over from the mainland. We're going to head up to Bulla and see Lindsay, who runs the recovery services. Rumour has it he might have some belts for us so we can get this thing back up and running. And then, since we're going to be up the north end of the island, it's Jackson and Geordie's first time here. I reckon we go see Champagne Pools, Honeymoon Bay, and if we have time, maybe cruise over to the east coast of the island before coming back down and spending the arvo at the Wrecks. That's the plan. Let's see if it all happens. No one said building a custom car would be easy or problem free, and unfortunately, the first proper trip and the first proper time it's been tested has revealed some bugs. Now, the first was that it doesn't like those belts that we've got on it, so we're here at Lindsay's place on the island trying to match up a belt that's going to fit on those alternator water pump pulleys. Hopefully he's got something we can get on there. It doesn't matter if it's a bit shorter or longer because we've obviously got a lot of adjustment there. But on that drive just now, I noticed that we had a lot of ignition breakup problems, which you might be able to hear in the video, which is where you on load and it sort of sounds almost like anti-lag. It's like it can't. I actually don't know what it's technically doing, like blowing the spark out or something like that. But it's not happy. So before the trip we replaced a problem coil and all 6 plugs, so we don't really know what could be going on. What I'm hoping to do now is jump onto the Haltech software, get TeamViewer open and actually get Max plugged into the computer here remotely, and hopefully he'll be able to have a look. He reckons it could be related to the coil dwell time or something along those lines. But yeah, I don't know 2/10 about anything, so hopefully Max has got something for us. So, the belt that was on there was an 11A 1140. Couldn't find one here on the island, but what we do have is a matching set of Bosch 13A 1170s. A tiny bit wider than what we were hoping for, but I think it'll get us out of trouble, so just tightening that up now. Then we've got Max on FaceTime. He's on FaceTime. We're about to plug him into the Haltech NSP software remotely and hopefully get him to have a look at why we've got some ignition breakup issues and then see what happens. Alrighty, we're just doing a little bit of fault finding, hopefully find some sort of fault. We've had Max on FaceTime for the past 20 minutes while we were sat here and had a feed. Basically, this thing is just breaking up like a dog's breakfast under boost, which is weird because we've just replaced the coil packs and plugs and it was completely fine up until this trip. So it's not leaning out or anything. AFRs are sweet on the dash. So basically what that means is I don't know. So the only real option we have without too much mechanical ability or computer wizardry is pull all this stuff apart, pull the plugs out, just have a look at them, clean them up with some contact cleaner, do the same to the coils, do the same to the coil plug harness, put it all back together, see if it fixes it or gets any better. If it doesn't, ho-hum, we'll just limp the car around the island. We're only here for another day. And if it fixes it, then yeah, I'll just tell Max I'm better than him. So either way, we're winning. Yeah. Ryan, I can't stress enough that if you drop those, it's game over.
What are you? An idiot sandwich.
She is a little crusty, but sometimes the best things in life do.
Yeah.
Yeah, you like that, big boy? Fuck. Well, I'm probably the most mechanically illiterate person getting around Moreton Island, dare I say even Australia. So we've sort of done all we can do with my limited knowledge, and that consists, I should say, of pretty much just pulling everything out, cleaning everything, putting it all back in and hoping that it's fixed itself. I don't know if it has. We won't really know until we get on the beach and give it a bit of a pull, but it's probably still going to be a little bit funny. So I think the plan is from here going to be we'll link back up with the girls who I believe are splish-splashing each other at the beach. We'll grab them, we'll keep heading north, and this thing will probably just get babied for the rest of this trip until we can get it back to Brizzy, back in Max's hands and see why it is carrying on. All the coils look good, all the plugs look good, all the plugs, like the connectors, were all tight and put together. We've cleaned them all with that contact cleaner, so yeah, I guess now it's sort of just touch wood and see what happens.
Meanwhile,
Okay, well, you've had a swim. I haven't. I've been busy working on the car, but I think it would be rude not to take Jackson and Geordie up to one of our favourite spots up in the north.
Yeah.
Champagne Pools, Honeymoon Bay, stunning places to swim, and I think the tides are going to be working with us. So, shall we cruise skip?
Yeah, hopefully we can make it the whole way on the beach.
Hopefully, that would be nice. I actually never driven all the way north on the beach before, so
Yeah, that'd be fun.
otherwise there is the North Point track we can take, but
Yeah.
the beach would be nice.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Fun.
On our way up to Champagne Pools, we're almost there. Good news and bad news is the 80 series is getting progressively worse. The breakdown issue has now turned into misfiring and idle. So, how's your first trip in the 80 series been?
Oh, so much fun.
Super eventful, hey?
Yeah. The first half an hour was fun. Then it was a bit stressful.
Yeah.
But on the bright side, I've never been able to drive the entire way up to Honeymoon Bay on the beach before.
True.
Without going inland.
A first for me, this is sick.
Yeah.
Low tide was 10 minutes ago, so I reckon depending on how long we swim, we can probably get all the way back south as well.
Yeah.
This is one of my favourite spots on the island. Right up the north end, Champagne Pools, and it's called that for one very easy to see reason. The tide pumps over here and you get this sick natural jacuzzi effect. First time here, thoughts?
This is so good.
It's nice, eh?
So nice.
Prime weather.
Oh yeah. That is nice.
It's so sick. Now up over my shoulder here is the lighthouse, or one of the little, I guess, lighthouses that point out the point. And on the other side of that hill is Honeymoon Bay, which is another specky spot, but it's almost not even worth heading over there with Champagne Pools, as nice as it is. The water, look at it. Absolutely stunning. And we're right up the north end of the island too, so if you're planning your day trip, there's a stack of stuff up the north end of the island that you can go and see. Heaps of cuttings to get over to the west, the east coast as well. We've obviously got Honeymoon Bay. You come right up here. Wow! It's pumping. If you want to get yourself some Lost and Living merch, we've tried and tested it in just about every condition you can imagine. Jump onto the website lostandliving.au, cop a hat, a shirt, stickers. We've got a stack of new styles dropping really soon. Tell you what, this is all about living and I love it.
Nothing like just surrounding yourself in a bunch of champagne.
We were discussing with the fraternity whether we trek over to Honeymoon Bay, which is up over here, but I was saying, it honestly doesn't get any better than what we're in right now, so it's almost probably not worth it. Although Jackson and Geordie haven't seen Tangalooma Wrecks, which is the most touristy to see on Moreton, so
Yeah, true.
might have to.
And there's no breeze, which
south.
means like swimming there will be really nice. Yeah.
If we,
How far is that?
It's
just
literally right near where we're camping.
right near where we can, but just south.
Well,
We'll go show them.
give it a go.
Give it a go.
See how it goes.
See if my car makes it.
We'll figure it out.
We will. See what happens. Figure it out.
Yeah.
We'll finger it out. Right, big doggy, have a copy.
Got a copy, mate.
That is Champagne Pools up the far north end. One of my favourite spots on Moreton. To be fair, one of my favourite spots in Australia. What do you reckon? Pretty hot?
Mate, couldn't get any better than that, seriously.
It's a glamour, hey, literal postcard sort of stuff. Now, for my next little party trick, I reckon we punch back south while the tide's still down. We should be able to cruise the whole way along the beach, and we'll go and have a look at the wrecks, which is a super sick little thing. I don't think you can do Moreton and not see them. Yeah, that sounds good to me.
Pretty sick. Be good to see it all.
Yeah, hell yeah. Take spot for a swim as well. Hopefully have a couple of brewskis since we're camping right there. So, yeah, let's kick it in the gut and hightail it south. Sounds good, let's go. Well, there's definitely worse places to be remotely logging into your Haltech and trying to fix a crippling issue than here at the Tangalooma Wrecks. Now, what you can see here is TeamViewer and the Haltech NSP software. The NSP is like the Nexus software program or something along those lines, but it's basically Haltech's newest computer program for tuning and fault finding. And TeamViewer is going to allow Max back in Brisbane, who's currently sick as a dog in bed, to remotely connect and see what's going on, because we've still got the issue of the car breaking up under load or under boost, and the ignition is not happy, and for some reason the idle has jumped up to 2,000 RPM when it should be like 800-900. So hopefully Max will be able to remotely log in and see what the frick is going on. But in the meantime, we can enjoy this view under the awning. Tangalooma Wrecks have actually been here for well over 50 years now. Artificial reef made up of 15 wrecks put here by the Queensland government to pretty much encourage some coral sea life, but also provide a bit of a safe haven for boats on the west coast to moor up and be sheltered from some of the weather. So it's a pretty cool little spot. Tangalooma Resort is just up here as well. So if you're coming to Moreton, if you're coming with a couple of Moreton virgins especially, you have to come and spend a bit of time here, because this is some of the best snorkeling you'll ever do. Super safe, the water's lovely, and our campsite's only 5 minutes up the beach, so it is pretty damn perfect. Now I just need my car to work. Max's last message. This is so cooked. Fills me with confidence. Where we got up to is not very good at things, because we're on a sand island with zero internet, and Max is in a house also with zero internet, which means the connection wasn't happening. Saving grace is that we are going back to the mainland tomorrow at crack of dawn, so we can limp this thing home off the island, take it to Max's and abuse him until he fixes it. And talking to Max on FaceTime, he reckons it should be a pretty trivial problem that'll be easy to fix, given all the I guess the symptoms that we're showing at the moment. Even just starting at them, the idles drop back down to almost where it should be. So there's probably something really stupid going on, and I'm just not clever enough to fix it. So anyway, we put the car together, we've closed the laptops, and we're going to enjoy our afternoon and head back to camp shortly, and probably get blind. Well, we made it back to camp only just in one piece. The 80 series, whilst did have its issues, it's been super sick to have it off-road in full drive for the very first time. And we've come away from this trip with a long list of things that need some fine-tuning, checking and adjusting, but hey, that's what we've got Max for, so it's all going to be sweet. It's even been more exciting having Jackson and Geordie here for their first time on Moreton. It's been sick to show them around some of our favourite spots. We're definitely going to have them back and do a little bit more exploring and adventuring. Anyway, hopefully you've liked what you've seen. If you have, make sure you subscribe. If you want to get any of the merch you've seen in this episode, make sure you head to lostandliving.au. Anyway, we'll see you next Thursday, same time, usual place. See you guys.
And the doctor finally gave me the right script with the cream for the rash. I put it on and
it guzzles ethanol.
You can't look at him.
You have rash ass. Backing up for years, unsuccessfully. You fucking big. More than 1,000 horses, and a roar that can be heard for hundreds. The roar can be heard for hundreds of kilometers.
Just give us a sound test.
Oh, smoke, my.
Hearing anything?
God.